What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Season Gaming Bitcast, episode 362. Another fine Sunday is here to talk about a lot of things gaming this week with some big news coming out of Steam and Valve. We got a lot of games to talk about, including several reviews and a whole bunch of other things going on. But as I said, I'm joined by these classic characters you see in front of you on your screen. Mr. Hogue Law is here, the lawman, as you all know him. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm excited about talking games. I don't know that I got enough time to actually play games this week, but I'm looking forward to talking about them.
Yeah, I think that's we've all been there. The Thai guy, he's back. He's here. He's hopefully not as tired as he was last week. How you doing, my man?
No. I was actually supposed to travel this week as well, but it was canceled abruptly, which is
Nice.
I think
just
a lot of
you
people's
love a
travel
canceled
plans
plan?
were canceled abruptly this last week.
Don't you love a canceled plan? I love it. I probably love cancellations more than anything, especially if the other person cancels. Like, you ever have to go to a party and then somebody goes like, "Hey guys, sorry, something happened, it canceled," and then you get to do that thing, that delicious thing where you're like, "Oh, I was so looking forward to it too. That sucks so bad."
Yep. No,
And then
I think I was reading a thread the other day of one of the best emails you can get is that automated Outlook calendar cancellation.
Oh,
Where you're like,
100%.
Oh,
fantastic.
beautiful. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Really,
That's literally
anything.
my favorite email I get every day.
Anything ever that has ever been canceled has never bummed me out. I don't think I've ever even
Well,
once
I
been
I
upset.
think that one's the dream because so many of your work emails are action items, right? I have to do something here. And you
Yeah.
go and you read through that, and
Exactly.
it's based on a meeting, and you're like, what do I have to do? It's like, no, this is actually just taking things off.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we got a big show today with a lot to talk about. Like I said, a couple things to talk about out of the jump. So anyone joining us live, you might notice that both Hoax channel and SG channel have two streams up. This is something we were testing this week. We probably won't do it again because we are not properly formatted for this, but it's why we have this kind of standardized gradient background on us right now. So they're allowing you to stream basically in our traditional format, but also a vertical format for people on their phone. Good idea in theory, probably a great idea if you took the time to optimize it properly, which, as you can see, we have not. And so we figured we'd give this a shot. None of the kind of artwork or anything else we typically use was formatted for vertical, so we had to kind of go to the default here. If for some reason you are on the vertical stream on YouTube, you're not losing your mind, Hogue. I noticed I always keep both our streams up, and I notice I'm actually on your vertical one, which looks really weird right now. But that's what's happening. So don't freak out. You can go to each of our channels and find the normal broadcast like normal. As we said, we are just testing it this week. Audio listeners, you won't notice any difference, but on the video side, it's definitely a little weird. So cool feature. Likely nothing we need to use on the Bitcast side, but we wanted to try it, and we have. So there you go.
My audience is usually pretty generous with testing things. And they know the buttons on all these platforms change daily, so we do our best to try to meet them where they live. But
they do. Yeah, I mean, good on them, really. They add functionality like damn near every week. Yeah, I mean, it looks good on phone, I guess. It's pretty cool, right? So, but I mean, by all means, if it's something you typically watch us on your phone, I know a lot of people kind of put it on their phone and then listen. But if you're watching on the phone, let us know, and we can figure out a way to actually make it work better in the future where it looks a little more normal. But we figured we'd give it a shot. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about, we got reviews of a bunch of games. So we got Dispatch is the complete series of Dispatch is out now. We've got Lumines is here. We've got Possessors, a Devolver Digital game. We got Where the Winds Meet, this new free-to-play action RPG from NetEase. Black Ops 7 is out, whether you like it or not. And a bunch of other things to talk about. Of course, the big thing this week is Steam announcing new hardware, which is, generated a lot of buzz this week, which we'll be talking quite a bit about, and a couple other things. But before we get to all of that, let's catch up with our community, of course. So, the legend herself, Vintage Willow, is here, gifting 5 SG memberships out of the gate. Willow, thank you as always. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. And as always, super appreciative of your support of SG. So thank you so much. Mr. Don Lionheart is here.
Don Lionheart, $10 super chat. Good morning, all. Overwatch 2 or Outer Worlds 2?
Gotta
Outer
believe it's Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds too.
Outer Worlds 2 is good, but so stingy with skill points. It's really turning me off. Constantly being told no sucks. Plus, no skill boost gear, and companions don't add to checks either. Lame. Well, I think the skill points being stingy is by design. It forces you to make choices about your character, which I think is one of its strengths. In terms of skill boosts that your companions add, I'm actually not a fan of that in games because it makes me feel like I never have to level up myself because my companions, I can just swap them out and bring them with me and then they do all the work, which never really feels fair. But that's just me, man. I get what you're saying.
I actually
was
really
gonna
like
say-
the lore that the Outer Worlds lets you do through the companions. I think they have some really smart, like, let this person talk kind of concepts. I agree that I don't love it when you can just power up one of your companions with persuasion or what have you and have them do every check in a conversation. But I also think Outer Worlds 2 isn't terribly stingy with skill points. So what do I know?
I would say it is. It doesn't only give you
It's
2
one every
skill
2
points
levels.
every time you level up. Yeah. Oh no, you're
Unless
thinking
you
of
have that
perks.
one
Perks you get one every 2.
specialization.
I am
Right.
thinking about perks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of players want to be good at everything, and Outer Worlds 2 does not let you do that in any sense, which I think is by design. They want you to be good at some stuff and absolutely suck at other stuff. And I think if you're
Yeah,
playing
that's
like
the playing of a
Skyrim and
role.
you're used to Skyrim where you're level 100 and literally everything, then you're going to be upset about that. But it is not a power fantasy, despite
And
the fact
Don
that
has
you
followed
are
up and saying the perks are fine. Sorry for jumping on you,
Yeah.
Travis.
No, all good, all good.
Yeah, I'm not far enough to speak to this, but I felt that even in character creation, it was like, oh, it's making you choose between skills that several of them feel really meaningful. And it's like, oh shit, like I can only pick one or
Yeah.
two. So yeah.
Yeah, I think like for example, players are always used to like I can open every like door
Right.
in every chest, and in this game it's like no, you're never, no matter what you do, you will never make a character who can open every container. Sorry.
Yeah, you're picking a
There's some
pathway.
stuff you're just not going to get into, and that's like such a foreign concept, I think, to players that are used to getting power fantasy levels of power. You don't get to do that in Outer Worlds. In Outer Worlds 2, your power fantasy is the fact that you are a single person who gets to make all the important decisions about the galaxy. That's your power fantasy. Other than that, though, you're still just a normal person.
I love Outer Worlds 2, I really do. But do you think that it is maybe overused, like this, you are in the secret society that gets all these extra powers and everybody listens to you about everything? Like,
Yeah, I think that's probably overused in every RPG, and I'm
yeah,
just so
I'm not,
used
it's
to it
not
being the
just a,
case. Yeah, it's like, oh, you're the Spectre in Mass Effect, you're the Inquisitor in Dragon Age. Like you're always this role that can do everything, and everybody has to listen to you. It's also in, I would say, it's even more overt in Avowed. In Avowed, you have like a special title, and you're like chosen by the Emperor to go.
I was gonna say, what are you in
just
Avowed? You're
do
like the
things.
diplomat or something.
Yeah, I forget what your name is, but you definitely are given like imperial powers to, and everybody goes, oh well, if the Emperor said, then I'll do whatever you say. And it's like, damn, dude. But yeah, that's sort of, it's such an RPG cliche that I always go, oh, okay, they're doing that thing, and then I move past it. So yeah, definitely did that in Outer Worlds 2 as well.
Oh, and Don had the word envoy is what you are in Avowed, which
Yeah,
sounds
you're
right
the
to me.
envoy. Yep,
Mhm.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a cliche.
I kind of dig that though. If you're going for, to Hoag's point, an actual RPG, right? Get back to role playing. Makes you pick a character where you're going to be good at a few things and not good at others. And it's also probably helps with multiple playthroughs, though. I get the point of wanting to do it all. So, Don followed up with $2 super chat. Sorry.
Where winds meet is strangely addictive, if janky.
I'll talk about it. Yeah, I've played a few hours just so I could talk about it on the show. We'll get to it for sure. Thank you, Don. Appreciate you. Gamefire with a member comment.
Gamefire has been a member for 20 months. People really need to stop calling the Steam machine a console. It's not a console. It's a PC. Well,
I got bad news for you on the other consoles.
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, but the other consoles are just PCs with bespoke software on top of them. So by that definition, the Steam Machine is definitely a console. It's also a console just by like virtue of how people understand consoles. Sorry, friend. It's a console.
We're going to talk more about it, of course. That's a big
Yeah.
topic today. So, yep. Thank you, Gamefire. Appreciate you. All right. What else we got here? We got Tide's picks to get to today. And
I hope I'm a Steam Machine. I want to be like a steampunk officer here.
I don't think so.
Oh, all right. Okay.
In fact, I'm not sure what we were going for. I'll have to see here. It looks like
we're Dispatch Boys.
Dispatch Boys. There you go. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to guess that Ains has the ability to grow really large because I really hate to imagine that he's picking up a toy car and acting like that makes him strong.
He's super dad. He's helping
big,
bring the
right?
kids' toys in.
Wait, he's bringing the kids' toys in, but then why? What's his power? He's
a great dad.
His power is that he got some of his hair back.
That comes with dadding.
I don't know, man. I think he can grow huge. That office chair behind me is really deflating my argument, but I feel like he can grow enormous, and that's a real
I at least
car.
have a cape, They gave me that. That's it.
Well, and I'm Smug Man, so
yeah. Well, I mean, that's already your superpower. So I feel like Hoag's power is that he has one of those stunt double suits where he can catch on fire and it doesn't hurt him, Where
I was gonna say you're also on fire, so that's
but it's
that's just the power of smugness.
Yeah, he's so smug that he's heating up with smugness. That's not even his main power; it's just a side effect of it. I really like that. It's good. And then I don't know, are those knives or am I holding bolts of lightning? It looks like they have handles, so.
They definitely have handles.
Like,
They're like daggers, lightning daggers.
I'm okay with this. I look cool.
Yeah, you look.
I look spry.
You do. You look like you're dashing in, assassinating people, and dashing out. So that.
All right, Dispatch Season 2, folks. Bitcast edition.
Spry guy Travis.
Smugman,
Spry guy Travis, and regular Ains playing with
a toy cars. Yeah,
I tried to give him a superpower, and Hoag was like, "Nah, he's just a father.
He's a great dad."
The real superpower is being a good dad to your children," said Hoag.
That's what I bring to the table.
Yep,
that's good. Thank you, Tide. As always, appreciate you. All right, so let's get into what we've been playing, boys. Just a reminder for everyone, please, especially with this weird thing we're testing today, please hit that like button. Please share this out. Helps us on both sides of the house. We appreciate it. Bunch of games to talk about. Don't know where you want to start. Let me ask you guys, did either of you get into Lumines this week?
I tried. As it turns out, it wasn't my week for spatial puzzling. So I think it's a great game. I played the demo a couple months ago when it came out. I'm excited to have purchased it, but just wasn't working for me this week.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, we've all been there. There's certain times you sit down and play a game and you're like, this isn't the game I feel like playing right now.
The thinky games in particular is like if you used up all your thinky juice at work, it's hard to sit down and play them.
Quantities of thinky juice.
Are you telling me
I know I do.
That Smugman runs out of thinking juice?
He does. I definitely do. I can't speak for my alter ego.
Fire is he's gas powered. The thinky juice is gasoline.
He's gaslighting himself. Yeah. All right.
It was quite the week for me, and Lumines didn't have a space, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Well, excuse me. I did talk about this one previously from Summer Game Fest. And Steve reviewed this for us, gave it a 9. It's very highly reviewed, very highly regarded. It is a fantastic game, incredible visual effects, great soundtrack, very fun to play. So highly recommend Lumines if you haven't checked it out yet. There is a demo as Hoag referenced, so you can check that out as well. But very fun game, and it looks like they have even live events going on in the game right now, which I saw from the producer this morning. So
I only played a couple of hours, and I didn't read reviews of Lumines Arise, but I was having issues even with the couple hours that I played with their kind of online network infrastructure. So I don't know if you've tried this out, Ains, but
connecting to it.
Yeah, connecting to it, finding games, even like stuff like changing the avatar that they have you using was having a lot of pauses and feedback. So like I don't know whether their network code is fantastic. I don't know whether I was just in a bad or busy time. But I was wondering if you had any issues with it.
I haven't, but I haven't put much time into it, to be fair.
Okay.
So I can't comment. I was playing other stuff this week, so I'm looking forward to playing it more. I still haven't checked it out in PSVR 2, which was my main goal. So I'll talk more about that next week. But
Sounds good. Yeah, I definitely think it's worth playing, and the demo is going to be exactly what you get out of the game. It's the first 3 levels are in the demo, so if you're at all interested, check it out. It is one of those, like Tetris Effect, like confluences of art and sound and music and puzzle solving that is just fantastic. But if you're not in the mood for puzzle solving, it's not going to change your mind, as I found out.
Yeah. Cool. Wanted to also talk about Dispatch. I have not played this yet. Why'd you say Is there a problem?
You got Elgato'd, but you're back now.
Got it. Is it starting again? Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm.
So Dispatch, the final episodes came out this week. Our reviewer, funny enough, Rob reviewed this for us at SG.
Nice, good old Rob
on SG. Yeah,
Look
so
he
put a lot of
He's
time
got a
into
whole
this.
career now.
Wouldn't call it a career, but no, you did a really good write-up on it, good coverage, and again, very highly regarded on this one. I think a lot of people really enjoyed Dispatch. A few qualms here and there, but generally speaking, it seemed to hit the mark for a lot of people. I know you were playing this one, Hogue.
I am.
Did you end up finishing it?
I have not finished it. You put it on that timing cadence, and then we have to line up on when I can play or feel like playing, as we were just talking about. But I'm about, I think, halfway through, 3/4 of the way through, episode 6 or so. And right now, for me at least, I would categorize it as aggressively fine. I have not arrived at these 9s and 10s for my experience so far. But I do think it's flashy. I do think it's something that is going to be attractive to folks looking for kind of fancy visuals and nice 80s synth music, and like the rest of it, the storytelling, the Dispatch game itself, like the mini game inside the game, I just think is aggressively fine.
That's actually so you can read Rob's review, but I saw a few people saying the same, so I got something in my eye. I saw some people saying the same thing, that like the story, the characters, the voice acting, the production quality, those are all the highs of the game.
Top of the line.
Yeah, whereas the game, the dispatching, to your point, was probably the weakest part of it. But I haven't played it yet. I need to check it out. Rob loved it. Alex is in the chat saying Dispatch for Game of the Year. Alex, I
not
don't
on
know if
mine.
you really mean that, or are you just saying that? But
he's trying to start fights. He does what he does.
He's being Alex, yeah. But yeah, it's definitely well regarded. It's I think in the high 8s, to your point, in terms of overall Metacritic. I want to check it out. I've been waiting for the whole series to be out, so I'm hoping to run through this one over the holidays for sure.
Yeah, it's not too long. Even the episodes aren't long in and of themselves, so I think you can run through it pretty quick.
I think Rob said 8 to 10 hours for all 6, if that's right. I think
that sounds right.
Or 8. Is it?
Yeah, 8.
Okay. Yeah. Travis, I know you were interested in this one. I'm sure it's just timing. You maybe haven't gotten to it yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Lumines. Like, I wanted to play that as well, but had Arc Raiders this week, which was taking up all my time. And then even after I finished the review, I still couldn't stop playing it, so I did a lot of that. And then now I'm on
Arc Raiders is good, y'all.
It really
Real
is. Good. Yeah, I've got like hundreds of hours at this point now. It's ridiculous. Now I'm playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. So
gotcha.
Reviews call. Yeah.
Well,
funny. Yeah, it's funny to go from Arc Raiders to Disney Dreamlight Valley, and then after Disney Dreamlight Valley, I'm jumping right back into the world of extraction shooters because I'm reviewing Escape from Tarkov's 1.0 release that happened this week suddenly. So I got to do that too. The sweatiness, the Disney ratio is very odd in my life right now, but it works, you know.
It's like a Disney
building houses
filler
for Donald Duck. It's all the same.
Yeah, my son is a huge Tarkov player. I think I've mentioned that before. And so my wife invited him over for dinner tonight, for family dinner. And the response she got back was Tarkov 1.0 came out and I have to get working. So there you go.
So do I.
You know?
I haven't played that game in a while, so I assume I'm going to have to just start from scratch, which is probably the way to do it for a review. So it'd be interesting.
Oh, and I think Tarkov is one of those that does like full wipes anyway, right? Like server wipes.
Yeah, it does. And also they have a bunch of like new game modes I also haven't played and stuff. So there's a whole bunch to get into there.
Cool. You mentioned Arc, so we'll just mention it. So Arc has continued to do extremely well. They also had their first update this week, the North Line update, they called it, where they did a community event to unlock the 5th map, Stella Montis. That got unlocked like so fast.
In 30 seconds.
Yeah, they actually toned
30
it
seconds.
Down. It was about to be unlocked in like an hour. And then they had to tone back the speed at which.
Oh, I didn't see that part. I just saw the part where it took like over half a day. I was like, okay, this is like
it was like by the next day. So
did you do your partains?
Yeah,
did you get your merits?
I did. I put my total, reached the max of the merits, and then it's pretty cool, right? They have a multi-week event going on where you can continue to do stuff and get unique unlockables and stuff. So good update, good first update for Arc, especially only 2 weeks post-release. So it's good.
Yeah, I'm intrigued with what they can do with that world. As I said when I said I enjoyed Arc Raiders, it's like they can layer on whatever they want because they put enough world flavoring into all this bits. So like even the merit system now, which clearly was kind of a change in plans based on the speediness of how everything was happening, now you just get it for doing whatever you'd be doing anyway as a community event. But I really think that they've got a lot of design space available to them, and I'm intrigued to see what they do after this presumably initially planned launch of a map and getting everybody on board with everything they bought.
World flavoring sounds like the seasoning Galactus uses.
I did see Fantastic Four First Steps this week too. So
nice.
Okay. So we, the nice thing this week is because we talked about this previously. Travis and I did it. Embark's really good about just consistent updates for their games. So sure enough, Thursday morning, I turned on my PC and Finals and Arc Raiders had an update, and that's how they do it. Every week they get a store update, but they also do like minor bug fixing and other kind of small tuning stuff in between their major updates. They're just really good about that consistency. So it was cool to see.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being on this train with them. I will tell you, even in the solo queues, I'm getting shot in the back a lot more now. So like the environment is rapidly changing in Arc World.
Yep.
Social experiment. It's starting to fall apart.
I can tell you guys this. I don't know how many of you have played extraction shooters before, but they start out a certain way and they end a different kind of way. This happens in every community I've been a part of with extraction shooters. So I'm just waiting for it to happen with Arc Raiders. It's going to be beautiful.
The don't shoot emote right into shooting you in the back is quite the experience. I enjoy it. I don't love the person that did it. I think they need a button in your recently played to be at least like marking folks as misanthropes, liars, whatever. So that's what I would ask Embark to add. Is just the next time I see this guy, just remind me that he did that to me last time.
A rat tag.
Yeah, just don't trust.
Well, and you can block them.
Yep, I know, but I don't want them to be out of the game. I don't want to report them. They didn't do anything wrong in terms of playing. I just want to know, yep, this guy did this to you. Heck, let me put a date marker on him. But otherwise, that's the only change I would make as of yesterday.
That would be kind of funny to be able to mark them where it actually like if you happen to get in another lobby with them and it actually had like a marker over their head, then you could yell, "Don't shoot," and then shoot them in the head. You know what I mean? Just get a little revenge.
This is for February 4th, 2025.
So let me ask you guys this.
Before the game was out.
This has been a topic this week, and we've talked about this in the past years as well. But Arc Raiders, it's obviously hit this general momentum in the industry. It's sold a ton. It's reviewed extremely well now. It's very, very highly reviewed. Does Arc Raiders have any chance whatsoever being on a formal Game of the Year list at the Keeleys or any of the major?
The Keeleys. That's what we're talking about, right? Because it's going to get awards from a lot of places. Is it going to get an award from the Keeleys? I don't think so. the way those nominations are set up is to isolate things like multiplayer in their own little corner. So, no. As much as the shrouds of the world would argue, I don't think you're going to get a Jeff Keighley nomination on Monday.
My thinking is it's determined by like a panel of like gaming folks, people that work at IGN and GameSpot and those sorts of places.
SG, yeah.
SG is obviously on the panel. And my experience being in that community is that multiplayer folks are the minority.
Yeah.
That's my experience, because I know that because anytime a multiplayer game comes out, they go, "Hey, Travis, do you want to review it?" Right. And so my guess is that the majority of people on that panel are single player folks, which that's fair. They make up a large portion of the community. I would say it's a minority at this point by quite a bit, but that's okay. They have an outsized kind of influence on this sort of thing. And so,
well, as I see in the chat, the references to Overwatch, I think if we were in a year like 2016, where there weren't a ton of obvious game of the year type contending games, that you could see Arc Raiders slip in easily. That is not this year. 2025 might be one of the strongest years in gaming.
Overwatch, for whatever reason, broke through the single player multiplayer wall. Like everyone I knew,
Arc Raiders is broken through. Arc Raiders is in the same spot as Overwatch was then, but it's a very different competitive landscape.
I can only tell you, for like when Overwatch came out, everybody in the IGN office was playing it. Arc Raiders, I have no one to talk to. So
were those two separate thoughts, or were they combined? Were those related?
Yeah, they're combined. My point is that I think when I say breaking through, I mean, like, obviously Arc Raiders is popular, but is it popular with the types of people that are involved in these reviews? I don't think it is. I think it's just for whatever reason, like everyone I knew was playing Overwatch and was really into that game, and Arc Raiders does not have the same sort of thing. Like it's popular among the boys, but not among the game reviewer.
I think that's probably both true, right? I see your point, Travis. It hasn't broken through to that crowd that you're talking about, and Hoag's point's the same too, which is the competition this year is ridiculously fierce for Game of the Year versus what it made it look like in 2016.
I could populate a list of 12 without having to dive into multiplayer.
I'm more worried that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 isn't going to get its flowers than Arc Raiders, which,
I would be surprised if it's not on the list, but it does have a couple of controversies and a very loud lead developer that a lot of people don't like.
I wish he would just shut up. Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's kind of a shame though, to your point, Travis. Like, again, both you guys made valid points, I think, in that multiplayer seems to be kind of looked at as like, well, multiplayer games are over here. And I think that's kind of a shame because, obviously many people play multiplayer games every day, and there's some really great work being done in multiplayer games. I don't like that we have to look at them as like this separate thing. I think that's
weird. I will say this. I say this every year, but a couple of things here. One is I think it's good to talk about. I think it's fun conversation on podcasts like this one. But if you love a game, if you love any piece of media, don't just take the worth of whatever it is that you love based on award ceremonies, whether it's the Keighleys or some other award one, what Oscars, Grammys, what have you. That is not the final decider of what's good and pure in the world. The other thing I would say is I do think that multiplayer gets shunted off to the side. I don't actually view those categorizations as negative. I know a lot of people kind of put that on these things, but I view it like movies. You're not going to see comedies win the Best Picture Oscar very often, because that's just not how that award has traditionally been given out. That dramatics are more flashy than comedy, even though, in my opinion, comedy is often harder. It's certainly more difficult for me to be pleased with a comedy. Multiplayer, very similar. Arc Raiders probably deserves its flowers for getting to Hoag, of all people, and saying this is something worth your time, when I really don't love multiplayer shooting experiences overall. But I just think I think it's going to win Best Multiplayer. I don't think it's going to be in the nominations for Best Game of the Year.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was.
Agreed. Well, let's see. What else did we have this week, gents? So
I got so many games that weren't even on your list of things this week. So
yeah, we got a lot. So go ahead and hit us with your first one.
All right, let me hit you with my biggest one. I think people that know me knew that I was excited about this. It's a bit of a controversy out online right now because they use some generative AI apparently. But I am maybe one of the biggest Anno fans in the world, and we are heading to the Roman Empire this time, folks, and it is well worth your time and attention. If you like city building, if you like seeing your little people move wheelbarrows of stuff around, if you like dramatics about the Roman Empire and the Pax Romana and everything else, Anno 117 is where it's at. And Ubisoft is in the news for a bunch of other reasons this week. Forget all those things. Focus on Anno.
Forget those things. To your point, I saw critically very highly regarded.
It's
Seems
great.
to be doing very well. That's good. I know you were excited about this one, so it is kind of meeting your high expectations.
Yeah, one of the things I really love about Anno is it keeps this kind of foundation the same in all of its entries, but they really play with things on the outer edges of how their systems work. So this one is using ways to change attributes of how your towns are built in a way that 1800 didn't do, that 2205 and 2070 and all these other more experimental annos didn't do. And so I really like seeing them kind of play with what this sandbox environment can do. And they do it every time. I love it. I love thinking about the Roman Empire. I know that was a big thing on the internet a while ago, but I think that's really cool to do as well. This one is great. Maybe my favorite since Dawn of Discovery, which is 1701 if you're not in the West.
When did that one come out?
1701 is probably like the early 2000s. I'd have to look.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know how many of these there have been or what context there is. So
there's a lot. I mean, you just heard me rattle off some years, right? Let me see when.
I was just curious. Yeah. So
it's good. It makes you feel any better, Ains. I follow the series and haven't played half of these. So
okay, 2007 for 1701. And 1701, which I also called Dawn of Discovery, this was when like they weren't sure whether Americans could handle Anno as the name of a series because it's Latin. And so they called 1701 specifically the Dawn of Discovery.
Okay. All right.
Little do they know, Americans love Latin.
Americans love Latin.
They're kind of obsessed
Americans
with
are ready to talk about series like Anno. But no, there's all of these little bits and pieces that I love in video game history where it wasn't as global an industry as it is now. And you have Final Fantasy IV was actually Final Fantasy II here. You have things like Anno 1701, which is a big series now, not as big as Final Fantasy or some of the other bigger stuff we talk about, but is a well thought of popular series now having all of these Anno games come out and everybody's fine with it. But there were thoughts back then that just Anno and a year was not going to be able to sell in the West.
Yeah. Yeah, we obviously saw a lot more of that when we were younger, Hogue. But it's cool to see the evolution there. So cool. Well, I'm glad it's really good. I know we were talking about that one for a long time now. So cool that it's here. Cool
117.
It comes out at a tough time for timing, in terms of games, but
there's a lot to play. If I kept track of my backlog, which I don't, it would be ridiculous just in hours of play available to me for games that released this year.
Yeah, it's endless. So I wanted to comment on Where the Winds Meet. This one made some headway this week. So this is NetEase's new free-to-play major. It's not they're not calling it an MMO, but it's kind of like an MMO. It's a big open world action RPG. And I started playing it last night because I wanted to be able to talk about it today. I was talking to Don about it in our SG chat because he's got several hours into it now too. And if you've played one of these kind of MMO-ish Chinese big open world games that's free to play, you kind of know what to expect here. But it's a weird mixture of things. So you've got your big character creation, you've got your over-the-top dramatic kind of action scenes to kick you off. And then you go into this big world, which is surprisingly beautiful. I'm playing on PS5 Pro. I've had no issues so far. With more menus and UI elements than you could probably even try and design yourself if you just took a bet.
I
there
believe
is
it.
so much going on in this world and menus and just things, it's almost ridiculous, to be honest with you. Yet for whatever reason, I found myself wanting to continue playing it. So Don was saying that it's got some gating once you get in. As you would expect, there's a million different things you can buy with real money if you want to try and support the game. But it's a weird mixture of things. I saw them announce this morning they hit 2 million players in less than 24 hours. It is free to play, so take that as you will. But it's out there. If you're looking for kind of a big, traditional, over the top, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon like Chinese RPG, check it out. It's worth checking out. But it's definitely unique. I learned Tai Chi from a bear.
Okay.
I blew up some explosive barrels to find a shrine, and there's like stuff scattered all over. Like every 30 steps, something new's happening. So it does kind of give you this carrot on a stick feeling very well of like you're doing stuff. But you don't really know what you're doing or why. It's just a very interesting experience. So especially going from Ghost to Yote, which is a very kind of, you know exactly what you're doing and you're kind of exploring for certain things and the story is very clear cut. This is very, very different. So it's been a weird week in terms of games for that.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at this. This one did look kind of overly janky to me, and
It has some jank.
I don't really love that kind of level of esoterica of learning martial arts from bears and huge numbers of menus and things. So probably not one I'm going to dip my toes in, but I have been following it.
Yeah, it's it's really weird. I think what's maybe surprises me about these games, and it shouldn't because it's not new, but it still does surprise me to some degree, probably just because I'm older, that you can get this gigantic of a game with so many mechanics and features and everything else as just free to play to download and play it.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me.
Making
But
money
I
that
think
way.
that, yeah, I know. And the compromises that come because of that, I'm not usually comfortable with. And what that means is a million menus, a million kind of progression paths that, are gated or paid or other things, and that's just not really what I enjoy. But there is a weird sense of strange charm to this as well. So give it a look,
Well,
play it for
I agree
yourself.
with you, Ains, on free to play is just so crazy to us, especially from the more seasoned side of gaming. And I talked about it last year about how impressive Infinity Nikki was as a
Mm,
product that I wound up getting so many hours of play with my daughter playing. And that's free to go in. You don't have to spend money. It wasn't really being terribly aggressive about making you spend money in any given
right.
way, although they'd love to sell you some dresses in that game. But yeah, it's just really cool that so many different experiences can be had by so many people without that barrier to entry at the front end.
Yeah. And this one has it does give you a lot of options. So you can play solo, you can play it kind of MMO like where the other players are around. Or as you're walking around, there's a lot of, you can leave notes everywhere, almost like a Souls game, but there's tons of them. And so it is kind of a cooperative experience as much as you want it to be. So it's interesting. I don't know. Like I said, it's got a strange charm to it. I think I said to Don this morning, I don't know why I'm playing this, but I kind of want to keep playing it. Which is the best way I could probably describe it at this point in time. I've got about 3 hours, maybe tops 2.5, 3 hours into it. So we'll see. Hogue, what other game you got? Hit us with another one.
Yes, I have got a few. One that has been a really enjoyable experience for me that I definitely can't recommend to Ains. I might be able to recommend to Travis depending on how he's feeling on any given day. Is a Japanese role playing game from Level 5, which is premised around the kind of tropes of a sports anime fantasy around soccer or
Nice.
what they call football.
I'm
And it's called
interested.
Inazuma 11, which is a horrific mispronunciation of the Japanese there. But it's a revitalization of a series that's decades old. And Level 5 has been working on this forever and ever. But it's a soccer game of the arcade variety with anime powers. Think Mario Strikers, if you've played that at all. with a JRPG, like a fully featured level 5 JRPG that has you going and trying to build up a soccer team for your junior high school because you're a 7th grader, and getting all this eclectic crew together that have different powers and different magical abilities to play soccer to become the best in Japan. But it's got all the tropes of a sports anime, including actual anime videos, very robustly granted throughout the story, and just a really nice role-playing game of the level 5 variety that I have been enjoying more than I thought I would. So I hadn't even been keeping track of this game's release. It came out this last week. It is a much higher production, more interesting product than I had anticipated.
So is this a sequel? I think I played one of these games on the DS or something.
Yes,
years
it's a
ago.
sequel to the Inazuma 11 on the DS.
Nice. Okay, so I actually played that game. I don't remember if I liked it though.
Well, I mean, this is one is
So
very
long ago.
different, and it allows you to play through some of the matches from back then, if you're so inclined. They have a bunch of different modes that you can play. It is a weird JRPG in that you're a kid, so you're mostly not combating people with swords or anything. You're convincing them of things. You're showing them your smartphone, and that's all between playing soccer matches.
Betwixt.
Sure, if you want to use Betwixt, you go for it.
It's betwixt soccer matches. This sounds like a game my wife should play immediately.
I think it has a lot of cozy vibes, but you do have to have an acceptance of anime tropes and sports anime tropes in particular.
Yeah, I could tell you this. I've sat through many a sports anime due to my wife. I watched an entire anime that was about riding bicycles. It was pure pain.
Well, it's just so funny because my youngest daughter loves anime, loves manga, and has these tropes down even at her young age. So she's like, "Oh yeah, no, of course soccer was banned at this school for some reason.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, of course people got injured. You got to bring it back, and this person's got colored hair, so they're going to join the team." It's like, okay, fantastic. I'm going to put you in charge. But it's a lot of fun and way bigger and more interesting than the project would have to be to actually support it. Like the soccer itself is good, which you would have to be for a product like this. But then they put a real RPG on top of it.
Cool.
All right.
So Inazuma 11.
Okay.
Wanted to mention that one. And let's do one last one for me if we've got time.
Go.
All right. The last one for me is, I think it wants to call itself an RPG. I haven't found it to be a role-playing game as much as an adventure game, but it's kind of taking its cues from Disco Elysium. So it's that kind of very verbose, heavily written type adventure game with a vertical column down one side. And this one is about you being an anxious, depressed person, I think, in what may or may not be a real southwestern American town as you're caught trapped in a time loop trying to get out. And it is called Rue Valley. I highly recommend checking it out. Haven't gotten to the end of it at this point in time, but it has been enjoyable.
RUE?
RUE, yes.
Okay.
Like I said, you're a depressed guy. There's a lot of references to Rue and being depressed. So I think it's a very interesting game. I think it's written very well. Check it out if that interests you. I haven't gotten to the end, so I can't vouch for its ending at this point, but it has been a lot of fun so far.
Interesting. Owlcat Games again, right? Who are working on the Expanse game.
Owlcat is the publisher. I think it's a different developer, but yeah, it's one of their indie published games.
Yeah, Motion Spark, it says. There is a demo on Steam anyway.
So nice.
You can check it out. Yep. Okay, cool. I'd never heard of that one, so cool.
This is what my job here, right? Is I play all these random things.
That's cool. All right. Travis, I know you said you're reviewing Dreamlight Valley, which, as you've told us before, time can disappear into. Did you get anything you want to say about that you can say, and or anything else you've been playing that you want to mention?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say anything about Wish Blossom Ranch yet because the embargo lifts, I think on November 19th. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm basically done with it, and I'm probably gonna start playing Tarkov. My goal is to get a Tarkov like review in progress up like tomorrow. So
Oh,
we'll see if
okay.
I can do that. I would have to move pretty quick, but I've also played Tarkov before, so I'm hoping it's not too big of a leap. But yeah, I've been spending time with that. Really, the only thing I've been playing, I played the new Jackbox. I did a lot of Arc Raiders. Oh, I haven't talked about my Arc Raiders review now that it's finalized. I gave it a
Go.
9 out of
Yeah.
10. Very rare 9 out of 10. If y'all want to see that.
I did see that. Happy
Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah. I'm quite pleased with that game. What other games have I played? I have not. Yeah, Dispatch and Luminous and all the other games that are on my list are still on my list.
Fair enough.
I didn't hear you say
yeah.
Anno though, so get it on the list.
Oh yeah. I do want to play that one. I've been talking with a group of folks that like games like that, and they also know that I'm obsessed with Ancient Rome because I am a cliche male. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? You're gonna play Anno, is what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I do want to play that one.
Also, if you're playing Jackbox Party Pack 11, we got to get you in on the Hogue House holiday fun. We got to start exchanging Jackbox room codes here.
Come to the holiday party, leave with friends, or enemies, depending on how. I assume you said you have the family friendly filter turned on, so
I do, but I can't filter.
I don't know if I have
Travis.
that filter.
Yeah. I was gonna say you don't want my family playing. We get very crude on our Jackbox games.
This is the first one that I know of that has that button that says, "Let's just take it down a notch, guys."
Yeah, I don't really like to go that crude because every time you play with friends, they just make penis and poop jokes constantly.
It does. It spirals if you start.
I find it so lazy. So my jokes are offensive in other ways, much more deep ways,
much more deeply offensive is what you're going for.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my daughter's
surface level nonsense.
My daughters have unfortunately found that one of the games in the new party pack is called Doominate, and you're basically ruining things other people like. They have found that they can get my votes for being doomed, that they were successful by adding Jack Black to anything I enjoy. And so that's their go-to move now is, but Jack Black is there. And it's like, okay, all right. We gotta find some new comic material. Fan, huh? I am not.
Is he the lead voice actor in Anno?
No, he's definitely not. It might be generative AI as far as Ubisoft knows at this point. But did you see the Nintendo Direct that featured the first new trailer for the Mario Galaxy movie? Because in the middle of this video, Jack Black shows up, and Jack Black's all over the place. And my girls were just laughing at how much I was not enjoying the proceedings.
It's very funny because Jack Black is like considered the most likable human. Like he's just a nice guy.
Is this a poll of Jack Black fans?
No, this is like if you've been on the internet.
I think to Travis's point,
really
you don't hear a lot of people say they hate Jack Black.
Yeah, Jack Black
is
like
too
a
strong.
nice dude.
I don't enjoy his product.
Okay.
Fair enough. What was I going to say? So Jackbox, our family plays it every year usually too. So is 11 good? Because every year is a different pack. You know, you enjoying the games?
The one thing I don't like about 11 is that their trivia offering this year is cooperative, and I don't think they nailed the design 100%.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, it's gotten good reviews. I was reading up on it because it definitely didn't work for me, and I was like, I wonder how people feel about this.
It's a what's the game called again? I always forget what it's called.
It's Legends of Trivia.
Trivia, yeah. It's called Trivia. It's a fictional land, and you play RPG characters. You pick like a character class, and then you go
barbarian, wizard.
It's like a turn-based RPG where you do damage by answering trivia questions correctly.
Oh, okay.
And my friends and I had a lot of fun with that one. It is cooperative. It's got pretty much it's not even like co-opetition, so you're not competing against people, you're like sharing a knowledge, but it is like a nice little test of like you find out. It's like when you play a trivia night with your crew and you find out like who knows about certain things. Be like, oh, my buddy Raul knows everything about sports and basketball. That's handy to have on the team. I know everything about not that. And then, we balance each other out. It's good.
Yeah. No, I think it probably could have used some co-opetition. Like it does feel like trivia night at the bar, but there's nobody playing against you. So it just doesn't have that pushback. But that's the only design I really didn't like out of this party pack. I think Dominate is great. I think the one with the sound effects is really inspired. They always try an experimental kind of one. And so you put sound effects into your phone, and that made the whole room laugh a lot.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I think it's definitely well worth it. Honestly, they released 2 games this year because they also do experiments outside the party pack. The one that has been the most successful in Hogue House is the game outside the party pack, which is called like Survey Scramble. And basically, this game is just try to name something at the top of this survey, like you're playing Family Feud, and try to name something at the bottom of this survey, or hit a specific range in the survey, and all these other things that they've made into games with just huge amounts of survey data, because while you're playing it, you're also being asked a bunch of survey questions to populate the surveys for everybody else. It really works very well. It's really hard, actually, to hit the bottom of surveys because you have to do something that somebody named. It can't just be crazy. And it's very fast and enjoyable for everybody in the room in a way that sometimes the party pack games become a little less enjoyable depending on what you're doing.
That was a nice little surprise, a little non-party pack.
I didn't know about that one.
Interesting game.
Yeah, Survey Scramble is really good.
It's good.
Cool. Couple shout outs. So before we move on to the Steam stuff.
Hogue,
so
I know you're drinking something, but the way you hold up that cup, it looks like you're spitting tobacco chew. It's like you're just like going, it's like when you have people like I'm like, damn, dude, Hogue's cool, man. This guy's chewing back, he's spitting into his little cup. Hell yeah.
If he just shows up one show where he's just chewing tobacco and spitting every couple minutes, that'd be great.
All right, now, kids, it's not cool to chew tobacco.
But it does
folks on my end of the house.
I mean, when you only have 3 teeth, it can look kind of cool. You never know. I am couple shout outs real quick.
Sorry, I don't need to say
go.
Thing. I was just gonna say I'm always impressed the tobacco chewers. They're very good at spitting. Like the way that they like shoot it out of the top lip like that. It looks
or the corner like.
It makes me feel. It makes me think like they're like a dolphin or something like that. Like I don't have that control over my saliva. It's quite impressive. I mean, I get it. It's because they're doing it all the time. But yeah, I'm always impressed.
Yeah. So I was just going to shout out about 180 people concurrent with us right now. So thank you for hanging out. We're please hit that like button. Remember to share with this weird 4-screen thing we got going on this week as we test this out. Also want to give a big shout out to Jez Corden. I haven't talked to Jez in a little while now. So Jez, managing editor over at Windows Central, someone who does a lot of Xbox and Microsoft coverage, and a lot of kind of the what's coming in terms of their ecosystem. So we've hung out a few times. Jez is a really good dude, and haven't talked to him in a while. So thank you very much, Jez. Appreciate the 5 SG memberships. Hit me up in DMs, and we'll catch up. It's been a while. I've been out of the loop, honestly, with a bunch of people I used to speak to. So good to see you over here.
Well, he was just over on my other life over at Last Stand Media. So yeah, it's good to see Jez getting around.
Yeah.
Is Other Life a sequel to Second Life?
There is no sequel to Second Life. It's just death.
Oh, I see. Second death. They say each man dies twice. Once when he actually dies.
So Jez, thank you for that. Gamefire says Jack Black is the next guest on SG. We'll see if we can arrange it. My friend.
First of all, good coup.
That would be a huge get.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Sorry, Hogue, you'd have to take one for the team if we could get Jack Black over here.
I agree, by the way.
I think by the end of that session, Hogue would be a Jack Black fan. That is my theory. Jack Black is very charming.
I always find ways to connect with people. I enjoyed him in School of Rock. I just find that he's become a more cartoon version of himself.
He's definitely emphasized his Jack Blackness over the years. So I get that point. It's worked for him, though. We can't argue with that, I guess.
Yeah, no, go get that bag. I have no problem with him as a human being. I just don't like his product.
The only other thing I want to mention, it's a huge release. I just know I haven't played it, and I doubt you guys have, which is Black Ops 7.
I have not played it. I've seen enough on my stream
that
to
story
stay away.
is just campaign. You guys gotta drink it in.
The
Yeah,
clips I saw on my social media were like, what in the living hell is that?
So Alex, regular here, an RSG guy, he's in the chat right now. He, if you didn't know, he reviews every single Call of Duty campaign, and he really enjoyed Black Ops 6. He would have given that, he said, an 8.5. That's where he scored it. He played Black Ops 7 immediately, played it Thursday night whenever it went live. And his posts about it, I'll be frank, call it abysmal dog shit. He has said he cannot believe how bad it is in comparison to not only Black Ops 6, but just a traditional Call of Duty campaign. And I agree with you, Hogue, that some of the clips he sent in our private chat, as well as what some of the things I've seen online, are just like, what is going on here? Like, what have you done? And Alex even sent a minute-long clip, which shows you're basically like, it's got cuts in it of playing essentially what's a zombies mode, or like Warzone assets in the campaign. It just looks like a mess. I'm like, I don't know what this is. What are you going for here? I got nothing.
Yeah, I haven't played it, so I can't speak to it with specificity, but at least in what you can see on these clips, it doesn't look like anything I would want to play. So that's a failure in its own regard. Yeah, obviously you can't control what everybody shares about your game, but it looks like some kind of multiplayer map that you just foisted a campaign on, but also it's a campaign that maybe came from the Dante's Inferno campaign that EA dropped when they dropped the sequel. Like it's just crazy looking. It's not what anybody would sign up for Call of Duty a couple decades ago, certainly. So I don't know. It has always surprised me after Call of Duty shifted into this kind of 4-pack of different experiences, how much they kept up with the campaign when basically every other competitor mostly dropped off the face of the earth on campaign stuff. So that I thought was always speaking to its benefit, but it looks like they've finally dropped it now. And you can blame Microsoft, you can blame Activision inside Microsoft, you can blame 2025, you can blame COVID if you're so inclined. I don't know what happened here, but for the first time, I haven't even felt kind of the pull towards giving the campaign in Call of Duty a try.
Well, I think Call of Duty has always been pretty hit or miss with the story. Like, I feel like some years it feels like they tried and really cared, and some years it feels like, oh, okay,
agreed.
This must be the studio that doesn't put a lot of time into it. So I don't even think this is that unusual for the series, to be honest.
I think what makes it unusual for me, and again, I'm not the Call of Duty campaign guy by any stretch, not for many years now, since Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. What made it weird for me seeing this is that, remember, at the June showcase, this was their last big thing, their one big thing at the end. And so the way they framed this up, I thought we were going to get one of those big scale, well thought out, well written Call of Duty campaigns that they hit every so many years. They get one like Infinity Warfare, for example. That campaign is surprisingly good.
I love Infinite.
Yeah, Infinite Warfare, not Infinity Warfare, Infinite Warfare. Yes, surprisingly good. I love that story. And yet, so I figured that's what we were going to get this year, just based on the way they were framing it. And so to see it come out like this just seems really odd to me. So yeah, no idea. But to your point, Hogue, Game Pass Ultimate, it's all over the screen every time you log into Xbox. I haven't even installed it. I have zero interest. I mean, none. There's just so many good games to play right now. It's like, why would I install this and mess around with it when it looks like this? It's just
because it's funny.
It's funny.
It's funny.
It's funny. It's
funny
to play
because
games.
It's so bad. It's funny. Yeah.
Yes. You ever play a bad game? It's funny, bro. It's funny.
Nobody's played as many bad games as you, Travis.
It's true.
Yeah,
I would know.
I was gonna ask you, do you find it, Travis? Like, I find that I have more fun playing a 2 than I do a 5. Do you know what I mean? Or a 6?
I certainly have more fun reviewing a 2 than I do a 5, but playing it can be, I mean, if you've played a real 2, like it can be hard to even complete them because of like frame rate and just like, broken stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's a level of pain in design and technical prowess that we used to endure a little bit more willingly. I would give you a PlayStation 1 era.
a 4 is usually fun to play because you're just like shaking your head and being like, oh, this is not a good game.
Okay, playable but bad.
Yeah, like
okay.
like Nerf Legends, like that was a fun review to write. Playing it is not in any way. I mean, a 2 at IGN means painful. Like it truly is painful to play that game. So yeah.
Fair enough. Well, on that note, let's move over to our bigger conversation this week. And I would figure why a lot of people are here this week. And look at that, we're right on the hour mark, killing it. We're going to talk about Steam's big announcement. Bear with me 1 second. We just got a $19.99 super chat from a good friend of mine. Let's get that before we jump over to Steam.
Okay.
Card Killer X gives a $19.99 super chat. What a cheapo. For one more penny. I'm just kidding. Morning. What's Hoag's perspective where Bungie and Sony settled with an author who sued over claims his book was used as the basis for a Destiny story? The suit had very generic sci-fi terms. Do we start to see more lawsuits?
I think you're always risking with a settlement that you encourage the trolls to come out of the woodwork. I don't actually think that's probably the case here because this has been a long time coming. Certainly, as a starting point, we expect all civil litigation to end in settlement. And a settlement doesn't mean that the guy that brought the lawsuit is a particularly big winner in any given case. It means that they agreed on this going away. Probably money changes hands there. Maybe enough money to make him happy and encourage future lawsuits. Maybe not. Maybe he didn't get paid for the years that he spent in litigation trying to pursue this claim against a company as large as Sony and Bungie. We don't know. Part of the reason we don't know is because, as I just described, it is beneficial to certainly the company side, but really both sides, to keep the terms of a negotiated settlement under wraps. So we won't find out about this. They don't want to encourage future lawsuits. I thought that the claims in this particular complaint were on the weaker side, as you say, very generic sci-fi terms. But sometimes when you're looking at a litigation and you can't guarantee what a judge or maybe even a jury, depending on what kind of court case you're looking at, is going to decide in the long run, you say, rather than pay the lawyers their pound of flesh, let's just pay this guy a pound of flesh and let's have this all go away. Because that's a guaranteed solution to the situation. When you don't actually know how a litigation is going to end, even if I'm sitting across the desk from you and telling you got a really strong case, unless I'm a really bad lawyer, I'm not guaranteeing for you what a judge is going to do.
Was the plaintiff an Orokai? Why was he being paid in flesh?
It's a business idiom, as I'm sure you well know, Travis.
Interesting.
I don't know the author. I don't believe he was a fictional orc character.
Tonight we eat man flesh.
That caught me off guard. Damn it.
But I hope that answered your question, Card Killer X. It is the kind of thing I would talk about in virtual reality. There's a couple of topics that I would talk about. I have been following the Rockstar union busting allegations. A lot of people have asked me to consider that. These are things that I would talk about in virtual legality if I wasn't on hiatus. Doing a very bad job of being on hiatus, by the way, with show appearances every other day and all these kinds of things. But I will get back to it really soon. And then hopefully you won't have to spend extra money on super chats here at Bitcast, even though we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you, my friend. Like I said, it's a good friend of mine, actually a childhood friend of mine that I knew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a childhood friend of mine who found me last year through SG, who I hadn't spoken to since I was 10, I think.
Wow, you haven't talked in 70 years?
He happened to be coming across the country for a business trip into Kansas City too, and actually swung by or was it early this year? I think it was late last year. Brought me we shared some whiskey, caught up. It was good times. So
nice.
Yeah. So we're trying to link up to play some Arc Raiders together, and for the first time since it came out last night and Friday, Saturday, I wasn't on, so we got to catch up soon. But
I don't know why, but when you said that you guys met in person, I imagined him in a wheelchair, and he's like really withered, and he looks at you and he goes, "Haynes, you haven't aged a day. How is this possible?" And I don't know.
I love the short insights into Travis's fantasy world.
This is what goes on in his head.
In my brain, Ains is kept alive unnaturally, and his childhood friend is like, "How is this possible?" I don't know why. I just really
he
want
follows
that.
up with he knew me when I had hair, which is true. Back then I did. Yes.
It's funny because when you made the joke about Ains being 80 years old, Travis, my fantasy world was to see Eowyn asking Aragorn how old he is.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. That's because he's from the Dunedain, obviously.
Indeed.
Yeah. We have our ways. We have our ways.
That's right.
So thank you for that. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Text me later. We'll catch up soon as we get on at the same time. What was I going to say? Just a reminder before we jump into the Steam topic, for anyone just jumping in, because we've had a few people ask now. Yes, there are multiple streams going for Hogue and I. Yes, we're aware of it. It is a weird dual layout thing, one for phone, one for screen. We're aware of it. Sorry for the confusion. We were testing something new. It's a bit weird. We ran with it this week. But you can find the normal layout if you just look at each of our channels. It is there if you happen to click on the wrong one. So, all right, boys, let's jump over to Steam. So Steam comes out this week, gives us a surprise hardware announcement with a pretty meaty hardware announcement. And they introduce kind of three new things. So the big one, of course, is the Steam Machine. So round 2 for the Steam Machine. From this point forward, it shall be known as the Gabe Cube.
I agree.
Yeah, so that's what we will call it. The Steam Frame, their new wireless VR headset, and the Steam Controller, the Abomination, that looks like the functionality is pretty good, but good lord, that design, which we'll get to. Obviously, I think the most important one for us to discuss here is the Gabe Cube. So just to preface this before we get into the conversation from a high level standpoint. So coming next year, 2026, it is a small cube. It is running on Steam OS, but it is capable. It's still a PC at its heart. So you can still install your own operating system or applications if you want to. Plug and play is the idea. So, to kind of easily plug and play to monitor TV, play as you will. Digital Foundry, obviously what they do, right? They had a hands-on with this, interviewed some of the people the engineers at Steam, did a breakdown on it. They estimating this currently to be somewhere in the ballpark of PlayStation 5 and Series X capabilities. They obviously have to test it and, see what it's like in real world. It's going to come in two different models, one with 512 gigabytes of storage, one with 2 terabytes. Both are expandable by micro SD if you want to. It has native pairing for the Steam controller, which we'll touch on, up to 4 of those. We don't know right now or have any inkling as to cost. They did say that this is aimed at more of the median market. So the Steam engineers said that they did their survey hardware. About 70% of people, I forget the GPU he mentioned, maybe a 3060. He said is about the average of where people playing in the PC space. And that's really where they were targeting for the Gabe Cube. So it's not a high-end machine. It's not a low-tier machine. It's going for that kind of middle market. So, guys, this is an interesting one because we've talked quite a bit around where Xbox is likely heading with their next box, right? And it seems like Steam was thinking in very similar methodology, at least on the surface, from what we know. And Steam, I think, is positioned in a much better place, not only from a market space, but just a lot of factors for this machine to do a lot better than the original Steam machine. So what are your initial thoughts on this one when you saw it? And, we can kick it off from there.
Well, I think my initial thought was looking at the stats, reading stuff from Digital Foundry, that I guess I'm a little bit surprised that they went for what is that median, but it feels like it's going to be an old median. It feels like it's going to be, even on release in 2026, a little bit late to the party here. If it matches the Series X and the PlayStation 5, that's a 2020 console.
Yes.
So then you take that and you go, the really big omission here is price. And I know you've got manufacturing issues. I know you've got tariff concerns. I know it's a tumultuous economy for everybody making consumer grade hardware right now. But it feels like an announcement that should have come with a price if you want to generate hype on this stuff. I feel like it should be at a very reasonable level. I don't know if they can get it down to like 4, where I think this is an easy buy. But it's very hard to react to these kinds of announcements without that number, because this looks great for 4 and looks really bad for 7, 8, right? So it's hard for me to get super excited about that. It does feel like the Xbox answer, as we've heard tell from Microsoft, in terms of having multiple storefronts and capability of being a PC under a TV. But we would expect the Xbox, whatever it's called, the next one, to be substantially more powerful than this and be sold, as we talked about, I think last week, potentially in the $1,400, $1,500 range, or maybe even more, to hit a kind of boutique kind of entry point. So you've got Steam and Valve as a direct competitor to whatever next box is going to be. So what are the differentiators there? It's probably like OS and software. And so that's what we might see as the next front in the console wars. But I think this is exciting. Just like when I was excited about Microsoft investing more money in gaming, I'm excited about Valve jumping in with both feet again to put out a product under TVs. But I would also note that they have a history of giving this a shot and backing away from it pretty quick. So I would want to see them actually find purchase and commit to this before I get too excited about Valve being a permanent entry in the space.
All fair, Travis?
Yeah. I think this is interesting. Obviously they've tried it before. Lots of people have tried this before. PC that goes under your TV, which, I mean, let's be honest, this is just a console. It's just a console.
It is.
It's a console, guys. It's a gaming console, which is fine.
It is a console, but you can at least modify it where you can't on a Series X or PS5.
You sure can. You just break the warranty and you're doing stuff that they, the console.
No, but I mean, this kind of natively supports. Like, if you want to put Windows on this and run Windows on your, on your TV, you can, as part of the box. Whereas you can customize your Series X and PS5, but it's not meant to be, is what I mean.
Yeah, but I think the next Xbox is going to do something similar, and I doubt that they're going to call it not a gaming console, right? Like, I think by every definition that like players know about, which is like commonly understood, bespoke software that it's running under, plug and play, meant to be played in the living room under your TV, probably on a controller as its main controlling device, which is of course evidenced by the fact that they're coming out with a handheld controller for this device. I think for all intents and purposes, it is a console. Steam getting into the console space is interesting. I think it could be big. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who have their Steam libraries on and just like want this because it just gives them another way to interact with their existing portfolio of games. I suspect it's going to have all the same problems that the Steam Deck has in terms of compatibility. I don't know to what extent. It's running on Steam OS, so the question is it going to have the same, am I not going to be able to play Destiny on this or multiplayer? It
always comes down to Destiny with you.
I mean,
I use it. Even Bungie's letting it go.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't turned on Destiny since the last time I reviewed it. So what I mean by that is, like, am I going to be able to play a multiplayer game without having the anti-cheat like warning that stops me from playing it, right? If that's the case, if I have the same problems that I had with the Steam Deck, then, it's going to be only a qualified success in my book. But I think the idea of a lot of people have invested a lot of time and money into their Steam libraries, and if you can bring that to a console, that is like huge. I also wonder if like my press account is going to be transferable. I assume it will be, which is too much.
Do you have one of the gets everything automatically accounts?
I sure do, Hogue. I sure do. I can
it's
go
so
to
funny.
any
The
game
first time
on
I got a
Steam
journalist
and, like,
friend,
add to library. Isn't that insane?
The first time I got a journalist friend, so people who aren't on Steam maybe don't know this, but you can expect you get your friends list and it'll tell you if a friend is playing a game, like if you're looking at it in the store, right? And the first time I had a journalist friend, and you just see every single time you look at anything, this person already has this. This person already has this.
Yeah,
every game on Steam. You're like, what in the heck is that? What is that account?
Yep. Well, they stopped doing it because I think they regretted it deeply. But Steam used to do a thing where if you were a member of the press, you could get a press account. And instead of having a storefront, it would just have a button that says add to library. And so I have one of those accounts, which they're very rare now. You have to like know somebody who has an old one, or you have to have gotten one like years ago. But yeah, if you when I log into Steam, I can play any game. It's pretty sick. So if that works on the Steam machine, which I suspect it will, pretty nice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think those are the good questions you guys caught it. It's a good point, Travis, because there is compatibility issues with Steam OS and Steam Deck and some things. It's not, it's not egregious, I wouldn't say, but they're there. And for people who buy a plug and play box, the expectation versus PC gaming is everything will just work when I turn it on and hit play.
Well, and that's where I think it's really going to be the rubber hitting the road on whether it's a console or not, right? They can say it's plug and play. They can say it's designed to be a console. I think we can agree that what they have said so far is it is supposed to be a console. But the actual in-living room experience of how you are going to interact with this, as Travis points out, things like interoperability, compatibility with the Steam machine versus everything else, how that controller is going to work if you're trying to play something like Anno on your television.
I mean, I'm sure there's some games that you're just going to try to open it up and it's going to say this doesn't work on a controller, and the Steam machine is, I assume, a control. I mean, I'm willing to bet you could plug a mouse and keyboard into that, but it's probably not going to be, the preferred out of the box way. Like you can do.
But the console experience is I don't have to tweak 600 things. Like, are the Steam machine? Is there going to be a PC setting that says I'm playing it on a Steam machine and just let me go? Like they do that a little bit with Steam Deck, but it seems to be at kind of the developer's own initiation. So how much is Valve going to be the tyrant king and demand certain things from developers? Probably not at all. So the actual experience in the room is going to matter as to how it feels more like a squat PC or a console.
Agree. It says, I mean, literally, I'm on their page right now for their hardware, and it says it's designed to provide a plug-and-play user experience while keeping the power and flexibility of a PC. So everything we've discussed, right?
I know what the aspiration is. Yeah,
exactly. Hitting it is a whole different matter. To your point, Travis, yes, from what I've read on here, because it says, and it's a PC, so you can plug in all the stuff you would normally plug in a PC. It's got a bunch of ports on it, right, of all different speeds. It kind of supports all that, and then it has the Steam controller, the new one that we're talking about, has like this. It has natively built into the hardware for wireless connectivity for up to 4 of those to connect wirelessly. So you can use Bluetooth as well if you want to. So other controllers.
Yeah, I assume that a mouse and keyboard are going to be compatible, and they kind of have to be if the plan is you can install other softwares and all that. Like you have to at some point be able to go back to like the Windows desktop or whatever. Assuming it is running on Windows. I assume
it's running on Steam OS, but you can install Windows on it if you want to.
Right. Yeah.
Like a maniac.
But the question is, if you don't do that, which I'm not going to, right? I want to play it out of the box. That way I could experience all the pros and cons of like a regular consumer. What does that look like if you open up a game that is meant for mouse and keyboard? Does it tell you to plug it in? Does it not tell you? And then your controller just doesn't work, and then you figure that out the hard way. Does it do what what's the handheld called? Steam Deck. Does it do what the Steam Deck does, and it issues like a warning, like, hey, this isn't optimized for the controller, and you should. So like all that stuff, I think is going to be. I think the console lives or dies by like.
Yeah, how clunky does it feel? Like
the big risk. The big risk with the freedom of a PC is when I think the freedom of a PC, I think of like making a deal with a evil djinn where I get the wish. Oh, I wish I had unlimited freedom on my platform, but it comes at the price of you constantly being pissed off at how needy that machine is and how much of your time it warrants for you to like make it work. All things that are at odds with the entire premise of a console. So,
I think I've told you guys, I really hate the first half hour of a PC game where you're like, all right, I'm going to tweak things until I'm happy with how things look. And maybe I'm never happy because I'm always feeling like I could have tweaked something differently. And a console can have problems. It can have issues with its graphics, but you got what you got. And that is worse in some ways. And this is where the PC people come in and say, that's obviously worse, Rick. But it's also better because you don't have to worry about, I can't make this better. It is what it is. The developers optimized it as best they could. Maybe they made a different choice than I would have. But you're playing something on a console. You're enjoying the game. You're not thinking about the menus and whether the ocular settings are correct or the ambient occlusion or anything else that you see in all the letters and abbreviations in a PC menu. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with going through those things, but it's not my preferred gaming experience.
Agreed. Yeah, we're all in agreement here. I think I think the ambitions here are cool. I like the
Yeah.
box itself, right, from a design and function
It's a squat
perspective.
little boy built like a
Yeah.
tuna can.
Well, if you remember when we saw the Series X, the expectation for the S was it was going to look like this. It was going to be a little white box, and instead it's a rectangle instead of a box. But very
Yeah.
similar idea, right? And I think the capability and connectivity in its ecosystem, which we'll touch on the other pieces in a second, make a lot of sense. But it is going to come down to that moment, to your points, when you buy this thing, plug it in your TV, and you go to play a game that may not be the most popular game in the world or for whatever reason. And to your point, Travis, maybe it's a keyboard and mouse game, maybe it's something else. Are there going to be issues that pop up? And I think that's where
I
concern
think
would
the
start to
answer is
rise.
yes, right? Like Steam is way too open with their storefront and like does not do the same kind of like vetting, and I don't think it's in their culture, and I don't think they want to be the people who are like slamming down the hammer on people and being like your games have to meet this requirement, they have to do this
Right.
thing. Like their whole premise of their business is like we let anybody play here, and when you do that, the side effect is that you don't have quality control and you're not
Yep.
protecting your users in the same way that like PlayStation is going, hey, if you want to put your game on our console, it has to do these things and it has to pass this test. You have to put it through, a process when you want to patch it or update it. Like we're checking your games. I don't think Steam is going to be doing that. So there's going to be compatibility issues. The question is, how severe are they going to be?
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
that's the goal behind the scenes. Like we are assuming they announced this machine coming out early next year, that they are working these issues, right? Like this is the biggest issue, is to make sure that if you're selling to the console marketplace, it is the kind of box that grandma can give to the kids and they can plug it in and have a good gaming time without dealing with a whole lot of extra hassle. In the same breath, Travis, I think it was only a couple of weeks ago where you were telling us that things like the ROG Ally X were having just all sorts of PC-like compatibility experiences at the start, just getting the installations correct, figuring out how to use the system. If it's that tricky, I don't think it's going to find a market. I think that Steam knows that. I think Valve knows that, and they've got to be working that problem right now.
Yeah, they're not naive to it, right? I mean, come on. Like they know what they're going for here. And I think that's the other kind of question I'd be curious to hear them say. Obviously, they haven't really talked about it in this vein that I've seen anyway. But like, I would love to know what their actual goal with this is. Like, I mean, we can presume that their goal is okay. Steam PC gaming has continued to grow over the last 5 years, especially since the COVID era. Steam itself has a dominant grasp on the PC market, right, in terms of storefront and kind of where people will house their libraries. They've gotten in with the Steam Deck to some degree, even though the Steam Deck seems extremely popular to us in where we talk, right, in this channel. It still only sold a couple million units, so it's not like
It's not a
what we would
Switch.
call it's not a mainstream unit, right? And so I'm kind of curious from Valve's perspective, like if they sell 3 million Steam machines next year, is that a success? Or is that what they were going for? Or they really think this is going to be like a 10, 20, 30 plus million seller like a console would be? I don't really know. I'm kind of curious to see one, I would love to know what their expectations are, but I'm very curious to see how the broader market expands this, because I often feel and where we sit and talk about games is a very niche, very niche kind of spot compared
I
to
think
mainstream.
if I were to guess, Valve makes a lot of their money in the same places that the other platform holders make their money right now, which is monthly active users buying a bunch of extra junk within the games. They want more people to be playing through their portal. They
Steam,
see that
yeah.
PlayStation games are available on their system. They see Microsoft games will eventually be available on their system. There's obviously issues with what platforms they're on in the PC space right now, but if you're offering a machine that can put whatever different access point you want on there, maybe Valve can make money that way just with the hardware side. I think if I'm Valve, when I see all of the platform holders start to move things onto Steam, I see an opening where I can be the name for video games. And in order to do that, I have to have a participation point in every venue of video games. So I think they're going for the brass ring. I don't know whether that means hardware sales. I suspect it doesn't, as much as it means Q score, brand recognition, people thinking if I want to play a video game, I'm going to play it on Steam. And if that's on my computer, great. If it's on my Gabe Cube, great. If it's on my VR setup, great. Like, I think it's a good plan. I agree with you. I don't know what is a win for them in the back offices, what the bean counters are saying.
Yeah. I'm curious. But cool little box.
Yeah.
Let's jump over because it's a 3-pronged announcement here, and I think the controller is a controller. I don't think we have to touch too much on that. It's got some cool features, but I want to especially talk with Travis about the Steam Frame, they're calling it, which is their new VR headset, because we've talked VR quite a bit here. I think in terms of general gaming show. And Travis, obviously, you've reviewed and talked a lot about VR in various spaces. So they talk about their new Steam Frame, and again, I'll do the same thing. Just a quick rundown for people who didn't look at the details. So it is fully wireless, and it is made for both VR and non-VR gaming. So if you just want to sit back and play your normal game, like with the headset on, obviously you can. Not that you can't do that in other headsets, but still
kind of VR gaming. But yeah, fine.
Oh, I love the virtual screens. They're cool.
Yeah. It's prioritized for streaming. All of this comes directly from their hardware page, by the way. So it includes a plug-and-play 6 gigahertz wireless adapter with a dedicated link for both VR and non-VR streaming. It has dual radios built in, which makes, from what they say, the connection more stable. So one radio is dedicated to streaming audio and visual. The other radio connects to your Wi-Fi directly, so they don't compete with one another. It has the foveated streaming, which is where it basically focuses the processing power on resolution and asset quality on where your eyes are actually looking. So it's doing your eye tracking all the time so that it can, help optimize the kind of power for the unit itself. It has dual speakers on each side. It has all the camera tracking built into the headset. I think it said 4 cameras, so maybe on each corner it has a camera. So you don't need any of the kind of setup around the room like with their old unit. And the controllers have a lot of the same tech as the new Steam controller, including like TMR, magnetic thumbsticks, and rumble and stuff. So feature-wise, on paper, looks very, very impressive. Travis, I don't know if you had the time to look up anything on this, being the one who probably games the most on VR out of the 3 of us, I would say. Did you get a chance to check any of this out?
I did, yeah. This was the announcement I was most kind of interested in digging into, just because, as you guys know, I begrudgingly love my MetaQuest 3. It's not the ecosystem. I really desperately want the MetaQuest 3 to have like a real competitor, and it kind of doesn't right now. It's just like absolutely dominating the VR space because they have the best product. And so I'm interested in Steam getting back in the game. They've been on the map for a while after they released what I think is, like, especially for the time it came out, the best VR setup you can buy in the Valve Index. Really is the Rolls Royce of VR.
Tech wise, it was like the premiere, right?
It was not just tech wise. It was also like the feel of it, like the you had these like earbuds that slide down over your ears when you play. You have the headset fits it perfectly and feels really luxe right out of the box, versus something like the MetaQuest, which, like, you have to pay I think like $600 to get a MetaQuest, and then on top of that you have to spend like maybe $200 to make it feel like it's not a cheap piece of plastic. Like, you have to buy a better strap, you have to buy the controller upgrades to make them feel good. Like, every piece of it is just like pushing it, whereas the Valve Index was like, this is $1,000, sorry dude, but when you put it together, it's going to feel like an $1,000 thing. Like, you're going to be like, holy shit, I'm doing it, this is full VR. And so I really like that as a model, but it almost immediately became antiquated because of the fact that it was wired. Like, as soon as the MetaQuest 2 came out and it was wireless, it was like, okay, nobody cares cares about the stuff. Let's do wireless. It feels so much better. And there are some people, like I had an advanced rig at one point where, like, I had the anchor on the ceiling and was pulling the wire down to the center of the room. That stuff is cool, but honestly, I think even people who have that set up, I was one of them, will tell you that having it wireless is just better. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to feel the slight tugging on your head when you're turning. Like, there's just nothing like it. And so I think the PSVR 2 was never really going to compete. PlayStation is not serious about VR. Just they never
What?
invest in the headsets that they make. They don't provide software for it. That's the main problem. And then the Steam situation, they've got a great headset for it, and they run they like their store is fine because any VR person can come in it, but like Meta is buying all the VR companies. Anytime a great game comes out, Meta buys them, buys that studio, and they're investing in it, and their platform has momentum. And so I really do think that there needs to be a serious competitor. So looking at this one, spec wise, it looks pretty strong in terms of like the features that they're including and the stuff that they're not doing. You pointed out the dual radio for audio and visual. I'm a little worried about that one, Ains, because let's say that one of those is lagging, then you've got your visuals not matching your audio, and there's like a little delay that can really be.
Just to be clear, the one radio is doing audio visual, the gameplay. Those are together.
Right.
One is doing the network connectivity.
Yes, correct.
Right.
Sorry. Yes.
So yeah, my point is like lag on VR when it happens is like immediately the worst thing you've ever experienced.
It's nauseating.
It like makes you sick. And so I worry a little bit about like the delay in what you're seeing and processing, but I don't know enough to know like how they're architecting it or if that is at all good. It's just something that I saw some people talking about online and being like, I don't know. That's a little,
I'm definitely not an engineer.
Yeah. But it looks good. I'll be honest, my first reaction to this was, hell yeah, a new VR headset. I hope Steam is serious about it. And then my second reaction was, oh man, like, because I saw that it is very clearly not as luxe as the Valve Index is. Like, it doesn't have the over ear
gotcha.
like speakers, like some of the stuff you see, and it also doesn't have the there's like IR cameras detectors that you have to install for the Valve Index, and it is janky, but having those in, like, I feel like your tracking is a million times better because you have these secondary cameras that are just watching your body move. So some of that stuff, my initial reaction was, damn it. I kind of want them to just make a $1,500 VR headset for me specifically.
I was going to say that works for Travis. I think if we were to describe this whole offering, all of the machines they pointed out, the controller, the box, the VR, that it is all not luxe. It is all
not luxe, and it is all made. To me, it's like, hey, Steam is never going to be that successful at getting like the bargain buyer, and so here's a way for the bargain buyer to get into the Steam ecosystem. That is what I get from every device that they announced. But there's also part of me that wishes that they had made, a Series X version of this headset.
Yeah. Travis edition. Come on, Gabe. We know you watch Seasoned Gaming. Let's get a Travis edition out here.
What I'm hoping is that like I can use the controllers from the Valve Index with this, which I don't see why I wouldn't, right? Or I can use the secondary IR cameras with this and get the benefits of both. I don't think that part's going to work. I don't know how much of this is going to be compatible, but if I can get the benefits of the Valve Index device I bought with the wireless headset, that would be the best of both worlds.
That would actually be pretty cool.
Device. Yeah, that would be cool.
Cool. I doubt it, but that'd be pretty cool.
I doubt it. And also, even if that worked, like, I'm still not going to get the same quality of the headset you get with the Index. The Index's headset is by far the most comfortable. It is immediately comfortable when you put it on versus the Meta Quest 3 where you have to like tinker with it. And you can tell already that the new headset is not going to be that same level. I could just tell looking at it. Some things you just know. Like, for example, as soon as I saw the controller, I said, that's going to be a bad controller. So there we go.
It does look that way.
Just know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I've enjoyed VR. My wife had a Quest 2, which I played around with for a bit. I've got PSVR 2. We've talked about all that. This does look cool. Price obviously is going to be the biggest factor here. To your point, it looks like they're not going for top of the line, but kind of like hitting that Quest 3 competitor, to your point. Functionality, yeah. So I mean, it looks good. I'm looking through it as we're talking. We'll see. The one thing it just says, the interesting thing here, it says the Steam hardware officially expands in early 2026, as you said, Hogue. But I don't know if all these things are launching together. If like Steam Machine's going to be Q1, Steam Frame Q3, they don't really have any kind of guidance on what that looks like just yet. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I got the impression that they're pretty early in the manufacturing run, so I don't know
Agree.
that they know.
Also agree. Yeah, that's probably true. Otherwise, if they knew, we'd probably have a date or some, specific target, I guess. Yeah, but I agree with you, Travis. I think it's going to be cool to see. I mean, it looks good in theory. Obviously, putting it on and actually using it and seeing how it runs games, and actually this technology they're talking about, seeing it work in reality is going to be the test. So we'll see.
Travis is going to own another headset, though. Let me tell you that. He's going to own
Put it on
probably
your
gonna buy this
stack
one
of
too.
Xbox Series S's.
Yeah, he's going to
Mr.
own
Perform.
another. He's going to own another console. He's going to have yet another Steam controller that he hates. It's going to be a good time. Do you think? You got to assume they let me use the Xbox controller on my Steam machine, right? Like if it's,
of course,
it has Bluetooth. Yeah. Okay.
Anything you can play Steam on right now, I got to assume.
Yeah. They say that you can connect anything you want to it. They like to call out that the Steam controller connects to it natively, like with the internal chip.
Fine.
They would like to sell you some more plastic.
I don't want to touch
exactly.
those. I don't want to touch those weird rubbery things you call a trackpad. I don't want to have anything to do with that shit.
I do hate they always put it below the joysticks like that. I hate the reach for the joysticks with those controller setups.
I just don't find they work well.
They don't.
They don't work well. I have a friend who told me that the original Steam controller is the best controller ever made, and I was just like, guy.
And he's not your friend anymore.
You should go.
The Pro Controller 2 is my favorite controller of all time. The current Nintendo Switch 2 controller has just a ridiculous battery life, feels good all the time. Get one.
Yeah.
I mean, preferably get a Switch 2 to play it with.
Obviously, my favorite controller is the N64 controller. So sorry,
Dreamcast.
Sorry,
that third leg just always
power
confused
glove.
and
The power
frightened me.
glove. Okay, got it.
Power glove. On the controller, just to mention it real quick. So, feature-wise, it's cool, right? It's using TMR sticks. It's got the trackpad. It's got rumble and gyro and paddles. They've obviously kind of put the whole bag into the controller. To be fair, as atrocious as it looks, we don't know what it's like to hold. It could be very comfortable. So we'll have to see. But there's not much else to say on it. It's a controller. So hopefully it performs well. I would assume that the Steam machine will include one, you think?
You
It'll
would
come
think.
with the controller? You would hope?
We can speculate. You'd assume. They have not really announced what this thing looks like in the box on the shelf, shipped to your home yet.
No. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a cool announcement. As always, I think we've said many times here, right? Options are good and competition is good. So I think so I think Steam coming out and doing this puts everyone on notice, really. And now I'm extremely curious. I think one of the points I forgot to comment on that you made early on, Hogue, which was the first thing I said when I saw the DF Digital Foundry breakdown of the Steam machine is, to your point, if this releases, let's say second quarter 2026, by a year and a half, most likely late 2027, I would say 2028 on a stretch, you're going to have the new Xbox console and or PlayStation 6. And very clearly, those are going to be far more powerful than the Steam machine out of the gate. So what does that even look like at that point? And I think, again, they're not going for that with the Steam machine. I understand. But it's just, it's kind of in that place where someone like me, which I don't think I'm alone in this, that has the consoles and a gaming PC today, it's trying to figure out where does the Steam machine sit for those type of people. I can already play my games at high end on my PC. I can already play 95% of those games on my consoles at the same fidelity or similar fidelity as this box. Why am I buying this box?
Yeah.
And I think that's
it's
the
if
question.
you have your library there. I think that
informs
it. It's
the timing.
ecosystem.
Ecosystem.
Yeah, I think that informs
funny
the
the
timing
main thing
because I think
people are pointing out.
Microsoft.
Good.
Okay, we're really timing that really well today, Travis. That was exactly over the top of each other. What I was going to say is the timing here, where they announce it now. The Xbox has said they're going to be a Steam machine of a type. So theirs is coming out probably at the end of 27. We think right now.
That's where I'm guessing, but I obviously don't.
So if this is the spec for the GameCube, they know they don't want to compete directly against that. That looks like the same machine, but one is just really a lot more powerful. So they get this out. They get first mover advantage in a strange way because they're essentially entering last of the last generation, but they don't have to compete right this second directly against the PlayStation 6 and the next box. So they get the people that are eager to buy new plastic, maybe not great with holding back on their money, and can get that year and a half between now and then, and also convince folks that this is a real player in the marketplace. But it was one thing I thought about when I saw all this, which is like, this is strange to announce a PlayStation 5 competitor 6 years later.
I think it is all about ecosystem, which is really funny because the thing that all the Steam fanboys are saying is like, oh, it's open storefronts. You can combine it, mix it with a bunch of stuff. It's like, okay, but you're buying this so that you can have your Steam library in your living room. Like that's really the only selling point at this point.
Well, and Microsoft had fired off the flare that's coming with theirs.
Yeah.
So Steam wanted to get their pound of flesh first.
Pound of flesh.
But to your point, Charles, that's why I'm very curious to see how this does, because for the people like you just mentioned, the people that are really invested in Steam, at least from all the guys I know like that, who are PC gaming first, Steam first, right? They're invested there. A lot of those guys already either hook up their PC to their TV, or they're kind of they want to play on their monitor setup, whatever that is, right? So again, I'm just kind of curious, like even for those guys who are really,
I can tell you because I am one of those guys, and connecting a PC to a TV is a freaking
I hate it. I hate it.
It's terrible.
I tried to
get it to work. The computers do not play well with TVs. You have to buy a very specific TV, which I have bought, and it still doesn't work half the time. And it's like the frame rate goes off.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I have like a guy who works at IGN, and his job is he's the tech guy who makes tech compatible, and he has had I've had him at my house multiple times. It is a nightmare. So if they can make a PC that is a console and feels more like a console with the plug and play nature of it, a bespoke OS that's meant for that thing, I'm there, man, because I'm sick of trying to make PCs work on TVs. It just doesn't. It's a terrible experience.
That's the problem I think it can solve if they're successful.
Yeah,
agreed.
And that's why I'm in. Look, I'm buying this thing. I want
agree with all of that.
Yeah.
But the other factor,
but it is such a niche, right? Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, I agree with all of that, and I'm probably with you. I'll buy the damn thing, of course. But
price matters. But yeah, I'm probably in.
Right. Yeah. But for the people on PC, the guys I know anyway, again, this is anecdotal, but the guys I know who are invested like that, they're PC gamers, they're Steam, etc. They're primarily that, not only because they can control their experience more on PC, but because they can play at higher end and tune it. So again, I don't see them saying, why I'm not going to play on my high end PC that I built and kind of customized the way I want it to, so I can play at lower settings on my TV. That's weird to me. I don't see them doing that.
See it. I don't want to be at my desk another
I love
12
my
hours
chairs
a day. I want to sit on my couch.
I'm with you. Again, I'm with you.
And I also look, keyboards are for emails. I want to play on a controller. I
agree as well.
So I think that there is a gamer that's like that. That's like, hey, I love playing on my gaming PC, but also I work there, and it would be nice to sit on the couch with the wife or whatever. Like I think But again, this is all such a niche. I don't think the Steam machine is going to blow the doors off with its launch.
No.
I think it's going to be a niche product for people that are in the Steam ecosystem and have a specific use case. It'll probably be like the Steam Link in that way. Like it can find a market, but I don't think the market is going to really compete with mainstream consoles in the same way. Like my friends don't know the Steam machine exists. The casual players that own Xboxes and PlayStations. Yeah.
I'd be expecting some football style advertisements in January of next year. I mean, depending on when launch is, but like,
I expect
Valve
really
to put
some
money. They haven't before, but have they ever released a console like this before?
Yes.
They literally released a box
failed
called the Steam Machine. Yeah. Literally the same name. They didn't even change it.
Yeah. I mean,
I like
this
to believe
is a different effort, I would say.
Yes,
yeah, it's true.
It will fail if they don't back it up. You can say that about basically any product in the world, but
there's viral marketing. Sometimes you could just put something out there and it catches on, but that is not a winning strategy.
Yes, I would say make that your business plan. Put that to the investors. We're going to float it out there and see what happens.
Yeah,
sometimes,
not in this
if
space.
you're the only investor, it's you can work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a crazy thing for a multi-billion-dollar company to do.
We did put a poll up on the SG side. Said, "Are you interested in the GameCube?" 3 options: yes, absolutely; yes, obviously, if the price is right; and no, there's no point in it for me. Pretty well split. So 23% absolutely, majority 40% if the price is right, but another near 40% saying no, not for me. So,
So even right
again,
there in a gaming channel, you've got 78% of people that are not an absolute yes. So that's,
Okay, but the people that say yes and don't pick the choice that says the price does matter are a little bit insane.
Well,
I picked that one.
I'll
picked
give them
yes,
the benefit of the
absolutely.
doubt because I think they know they're willing to spend X amount. They know it's not going to be $1,500, for example, right? So
I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, they may ask more than I would want. They may not be 4, it may be 6, but I'm still going to buy it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's
to me, the yes, if the price is right, means I could be persuaded if it was cheap enough, not like
Exactly.
I'm actively interested in it.
Yeah,
right.
see, the lawyer in me says if you pick the yes without the price caveat, you're saying price can be anything in the world, right? Like that's the full logic of that choice.
That's not full logic.
In
that's
my
lawyer
case,
logic.
I still pass that bar because I ain't paying for this thing. So it can cost 50 grand. I ain't paying for it. I'm just gonna buy it.
Dude, I would love that. They announced this. They finally put it out. It just says $49,999.
The machine, turns out the Steam machine is a tractor. You're buying a tractor. That's 50 grand.
Yeah, and the specs are reduced when they announce the price.
Yeah.
Got a comment from Eat Fresh guy says, I think this will be $700 plus because Steam Valve, and it will sell millions between console players wanting Steam but not a PC, and PC players want a streaming box that isn't a console.
It is.
So we've kind of touched on all that already. I would say I don't think if you combine those things together, I don't think it'll be as successful as you think it will be.
It's a console.
It is a console. That's what they want it to be, at least. I'm going to hold up on my definition until you actually see it in operation, but they want it to be a console.
Well, I mean, it's fair enough that literally on their page on Steam, it says ... It's also a PC.
Yeah. I think that's a fair way to describe it. It's a console. It's also a PC. Yeah. But if you look at every metric by which like marketing, players, how they understand the market, etc., it's a console.
Yeah.
It's a console.
Well, it's been a good week in terms of fun announcements, right? Big hardware announcements, always fun to kind of check out and see what they do with this thing. So we'll obviously be talking about this more in the future. We have a few other things to talk about as well, but seeing as we kind of ran long on that one, I think we'll save these other smaller topics for next week. I did want to get this one comment. My good friend Mo here, he likes to always get my input on the Halo stuff because I was tied so heavily into that. So he just says, shout out to the panel. And do you have any idea what they're going to do about new multiplayer in Halo? Love HCS, Halo Championship Series, for those who don't know. And Halo is the best at competitive. I agree with that, So the short answer here, because funny enough, we've gotten other comments about this, is I don't know. The short answer is they're not doing jack all with multiplayer in the short term. Halo Infinite, this update that comes out on Tuesday, is a huge update to Infinite. It is the last update to Infinite outside of ranked seasons. And they are going to just ride the wave of that and the people who still play Master Chief Collection for the next few years. As sad as that is.
Hashtag don't believe in 10-year plans.
Yeah. So campaign
evolved.
Out for
Destiny.
Did it work out?
Campaign evolved.
For 10 years it did. Year 11, maybe not. But
now, wait a minute. Destiny 1 had the 10-year plan. They cut that off halfway through as it stood.
No, I mean, the sequel was always part of the plan because Activision demanded it. But yeah, they got their 10 years. The 10 years was the end of the Darkness and Light saga.
Let's let Ains talk about Halo.
Okay,
fine. So campaign evolved is it. In the short term, next year, their full team at 343 or Halo Studios now is working on the next game. I do not expect it anytime soon. As I've said in other channels, I really do expect they'll try and line that up with the next Xbox as they have traditionally done. So at the very earliest, you're talking late 2027. My guess would be 2028. So live with Halo Infinite for a while. It is a great multiplayer suite. It is very sad how they've managed Halo. I will not go on an hour-long rant right now about their failures at Xbox and managing their studios. I could, but I will not. But that's where we are, Mo.
Because I will. It all began.
I also got a question.
Raiders.
Play Arc Raiders. Where can I get the Razer Raiju V3 Pro? That's the other. I've got too many controllers, guys. I got millions of them sitting behind me on the video. So I think I said in that video, the day before it got announced, they delayed it in the United States due to regulatory issues. So if you're sitting in the US, you cannot buy that controller right now. Nothing I or anyone else can do about it.
Hold on. You're telling me
what?
something's available in Europe that didn't get regulations passed in America?
That is correct.
That is impressive. I'm impressed.
That is correct. Yes. Very weird PR thing. So I had this controller for almost a month. I was playing it, video done, everything done for the review and embargo. The night before embargo, they reach out to everyone and say, big regulatory issue with the US. It will not go on sale tomorrow as planned in the United States. Yeah. So, and it's still not on sale as of now that I'm aware of. So you can buy it in Canada. So if you want it,
how? Well, I have to know what this regulatory issue is.
It didn't
have enough cornstarch in it.
It said "Make America Great Again" in the battery cover.
Yeah, so I mean, it's weird, really, because I have it, right? I've used it. I use it every day. I was using it playing Where the Winds Meet this morning.
You are using that controller in defiance of U.S. regulations.
Right. I'm a rebel. Wow. Haven't you heard this?
Report him. Report him.
To be clear, the regulatory issues would be on the export and import and not on the use by the consumer.
I don't care. Look,
Haynes is okay.
Don't matter anymore. Get him, Ice. Kill him.
I will say this. If you're playing on PC, get the 8K PC version. If you're playing on PlayStation 5, sadly, you have to wait for this, but it's amazing. I use this over my DualSense Edge now, 100%. It's just a better controller. Doesn't have the haptics, though. Anyway, what's this week, boys? So we releases this week. We get
Kirby.
I know you get Kirby Air Riders on the 20th. You get the same day you get Stalker 2 for our PlayStation 5 folks, if you've been waiting for that one. We also get Demon School this week on the 19th, which I believe Steve has something coming for us on. He's been playing that.
Demon School.
I have such bad feelings about them fleeing as cowards from Silksong. Sorry,
wait,
Demon School was supposed to come out the same day that Silksong got announced.
Oh, okay. I had forgotten that. Yes, I got you. I thought you meant the developers. I was very confused.
No. It's a joke. I don't have bad feelings towards them. But they ran screaming from Silksong.
I do remember that now.
I too.
Travis, if you haven't checked this out, check it out. It's up your alley, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I remember this. This was in a showcase at some point, right?
It's Indie Persona.
Yes.
You'll like it.
Yeah.
And then the big one, of course, is SpongeBob, Titans of the Tide, coming out on Tuesday as well for you people that are interested.
SpongeBob games have been real bad lately. I've reviewed a few of them. I wish them the best, but I don't know.
Does that mean you're not on this one, Travis?
I would be surprised.
Put Tarkov down and get on the tide, my friend. Come on.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. When does that? You said it comes out this week, so yeah,
Tuesday.
I'm probably not on it. Yeah,
Tuesday. But let's go ahead and wrap it up. So just a reminder for everyone coming in late, checking us out after the fact. Sorry to have to say this a third time for those who have been with us the whole time. We had 2 streams on each channel this week due to this new dual layout they have with vertical. If you're clicking on this on YouTube and we're looking like a phone to you, that is why. The normal layout, if you want it, can be found on both our channels. So we tried it. We probably won't use it going forward, at least in the short term. But we just wanted to let you know that's why we look a little different this week. In terms of SG, one cool thing, guys, I do want to mention. The Indie Game Awards run by 6-1 Indie, who have done a lot of great work over the last year. They've really grown their audience. They've done some cool showcases. They're having their Indie Game Awards on December 18th. And SG is an official part of the panel this year. So I'm on the voting panel, and we're featured on the site as well, which is really cool. Those are great guys over there. Kyle and Mike over at 6-1 Indie. So check that out, and you can stay tuned for that show here in about a month, which will be awesome. And then in terms of coverage, we do have reviews up of Lumines Arise from Steve, Possessors, which is the latest Devolver Digital published release, and Dispatch on the site you can check out. There's an opinion piece going up from Stacy you'll want to check out probably tomorrow. That'll go live. And then, guys, for the first time this year, which is really sad to say, I think I'm going to stream tonight for Extra Life. I joined Extra Life as I always do right at the beginning of the year. I have not streamed a single time.
From Pennsylvania?
No, we're past that point, I think.
Yeah, it's 2025.
Never finished it.
No, I did not finish it. You are correct. But I think honestly, I may play some finals and just kind of show people that I like showing off the finals. So plus it gets funny and sweaty and everything else. So if you swing by, check out the channel later tonight, or check out my Twitch stream later tonight. I'd appreciate it, even if you just stop by, say hi, and take off. Because honestly, I have no idea if even one person's going to show up, if I'm being honest with you. So I'd appreciate it. So I figured I'd call that out. Hogue, gonna pass to you first this week.
Yeah, well, once again, I have failed you all at delivering content to my channel, but I had a very busy week. I am aimed, hopefully, at delivering virtual legalities and hangouts and headlines pretty soon, probably next couple of weeks, as I get my sea legs under me at my new job, as we've talked about on earlier episodes. But I am happy to say on the Extra Life side of things that I did participate in maybe 3 or 4 hours with Ian Runkle of Runkle of the Bailey yesterday. If you didn't see, he did a 24-hour marathon stream where he raises money for a children's hospital in Canada. And he raised just under $100,000 yesterday because our community is super generous and awesome. So if you're interested in seeing lawyers kibitz about random stuff and Ian play through video games like Hades 2 and other things, go check out that stream. It's available on his channel right now, and you can skip past all the time I'm present if you so choose.
Will do.
That is amazing.
Oh, he's amazing.
Ian. Yeah, Ian, that's I know Ian swings by here sometimes. That's absolutely fantastic. If you could tell like 4% of them to swing by my stream tonight, I'd appreciate it.
My hope is Ian's sleeping right now, honestly. The 24-hour streams, if people don't know, it's just they're deadening.
It's a nightmare.
You swing by my house with the $100,000, Ian, if you want.
Here's the best part.
So you can buy dinner in San Francisco, or
that's right.
Ian is so smart. He turns off all of his donations to him personally, and they go straight to the hospital. So he doesn't have to touch that stuff. He's not a fiduciary of that. He doesn't have a sack of $100,000 to come by with you.
Yep, that's the way to do it. That's fantastic. So I love to see that. Love to hear it. Good stuff. Travis, what you got, man?
Yes, this week you can watch my exclusive hands-on preview of Routine, a horror game. It is also IGN first game of the month. We have month-long coverage. Also this week you will see an interview from me interviewing the developers that worked on this game. This game has a very interesting story for those who don't know. It was announced over a decade ago, 13 years ago, in fact, and went through some extremely long hardships to finally become the game it is today. And so I will have an interview with the developers about that this week. My review of ArcLight Raiders is live. You can check that out. And then this week I will have something to say about Disney Dreamlight Valley, Wish Blossom Ranch, as well as Escape from Tarkov's 1.0 review. But
I'm looking forward to reading some puns about Wish Blossom Ranch, Travis.
Aren't we all? I'm looking forward to writing them probably in a couple hours. So good times. But yes, I've got a lot of content this week. And yeah, if you care about horror games, I've got a lot more coverage of Routine all month long as part of IGN's ongoing coverage.
Really excited for that one. I noticed that if I didn't mention it last week, you guys are covering it, and it's actually the cover of Edge this month as well. So they're putting in the not necessarily advertising.
It is also it's a rare December release. So it's actually perfectly positioned to just be that game that gets a little bit more notice because of when it comes out, like when the year is basically over. So
like Samus and her NPC companions.
That's right. That's right.
Which we'll talk maybe more about next week when we have more
time.
Yeah,
we can save that for next week.
Yeah, Rick Moranis and Samus. It's a perfect combo.
Yep.
So. Chat, you've been awesome today. Thanks for checking out all the streams with us. Appreciate everything in that sense in the conversation. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. As always, we'll be back next Sunday with more games to talk about. For now, enjoy all the fantastic gaming that's in front of us, and we will see you next week. Until then.